Greetings all, welcome back to Eye of the Beholder, where we look at 20 years of Dungeons & Dragons miniatures. Short and sweet this time around, as we are going to pick up where we left off on the metallic dragons. Meet the Copper Dragon. Copper dragons are generally even-tempered and sociable, assuming no one is threatening their hoard, as they are perhaps the greediest of the metallic dragons. They enjoy jokes and riddles and are well known for playing pranks upon unwary adventurers. In combat, they have two breath weapons, a line of acid and a cone of gas that slows anyone caught in it. Fun fact, they are very fond of bards and will oftentimes set up space within their lairs to accommodate them. We get our first Copper Dragon in 2005's Angel Fire set. Nice coloring on this mini. I particularly like the way the coloring on the wings goes from copper to blue at the tips, kind of like how real copper tarnishes if you don't clean it. A white underbelly from neck to tail tip completes the look. The pose is nondescript but well done, with the head and horns absolutely creature correct and excellent scaling detail on the body. Definitely playable and kind of cool, so score is Paint 19, Pose 17, Playability 18, Pizzazz 18, for a score of 64. 2 years later, we get this small Copper Dragon in 2006's War of the Dragon Queen set. Not great. With its hunchback, humanish forelegs, and yellow eyes on a small base, when I first saw this mini, I thought it was an imp. Only upon really close inspection do you realize it's a dragon. As it's our only option for a wormling, I guess you gotta use it if you need one, so at least it's playable. Score: Paint 10, Pose 6, Playability 18, Pizzazz 9, for a score of 43. Although you could use this medium Copper Dragon from the other 2006 set, Blood War. Yeah, screw that previous mini, let's use this one. While the monochrome copper color with black claws is correct but boring, it's the pose that sets this mini apart. We get nice detailing on the fully displayed wings, while the standard upright pose is slightly more menacing due to the slight tilt forward. Score: Paint 15, Pose 20, Playability 22, Pizzazz 20, for a score of 77. Playing into the known greediness of coppers, WotC named this mini the Capricious Copper Dragon in 2007's Desert of Desolation set. We get the same bluish coloring at the end of the wings as we did in the Angel Fire Copper. Otherwise, this mini is all copper. To me, this pose is the most menacing of the metallics so far, low to the ground with wings partially unfurled and gaze locked onto, well, something. This is a really cool looking mini. Score: Paint 17, Pose 23, Playability 22, Pizzazz 25, for a score of 87. We get the last WotC Copper Dragon in their last set, 2010's Lords of Madness. This Elder Copper Dragon is our only huge copper to date. It's a little underwhelming, to be honest, with a monochrome copper color with a bit of white for the claws and teeth, which look like dentures, by the way. WotC cleverly uses the tail to ground this mini on the base, which allows this dragon to appear airborne, either landing or taking off. As a huge, it's going to see some play, but I'm not impressed, so score: Paint 10, Pose 17, Playability 14, Pizzazz 12, for a score of 53. When WizKids took over in 2014, they added a Copper Dragon to their inaugural set, Tyranny of Dragons. I do like these mid-flight minis, but God, I hate these skinny posts. This particular one is constantly falling off its post, and I've said in the past, I do not like using glue on my miniatures. Paint-wise, it's a much brighter copper coloring versus the WotC coppers, but also like the WotC minis, there's little color variation. Playability is also limited due to the fact that it just won't stay on the post. Score: Paint 16, Pose 15, Playability 11, Pizzazz 18, for a score of 60. We get our final Copper Dragon in 2015's Rage of Demons set. For whatever reason, the mounting posts for the smaller dragons are much more secure. However, what we gain in security, we lose in stability. This mini is so top-heavy that it easily topples, which affects playability. Paint and pose are basically identical to the previous mini, just on a smaller scale, and therefore, so is the score. Paint 16, pose 15, playability 11, pizzazz 14, for a score of 56. And that's it. We're done with the Copper Dragons. We'll be looking at inaugually the most powerful of the metallic dragons, the Gold Dragons, in our next video. Until then, thanks again for watching Eye of the Beholder, and we'll see you next time. Leave a comment if you feel the need.